Your decision to charge these 11, kind of take us through that process.
As we said from the beginning, I mean, if you're peacefully protesting, you can expect support from our community. If you are out to hurt, steal, destroy, vandalize, you can expect to be prosecuted, without a doubt.
So what's happening?
We're starting to get the first series of cases from people who've been causing that destruction and violence in our community charged, so we can start the process of prosecuting people to hold them accountable for their crimes. So we have the first batch, 11 defendants, 15 felony charges, about half dozen misdemeanors included. These are people who are committing crimes the night of May 30th. When we were watching on TV or sometimes live our city go from peaceful protests into that violence and destruction that night, watching fires burn in the city of Tampa, these are some of the people who were robbing, burglarizing, burning gas stations, drugstores, jewelry stores. These are the people, not the protesters, these criminals who were causing that destruction, and that's why we're prosecuting them.
These 11, do you know where they were, where the crimes were committed exactly? Was it in Tampa, Temple Terrace, Hillsborough?
These were all in the university area.
Do you know which specific businesses maybe they were at?
We do. It's included in the informations that are being filed. We don't want to, for now we're just generalizing the area, but again, these were people who were burglarizing, breaking into, stealing from the drugstores, jewelry stores, gas stations.
When it comes to evidence in these cases, I imagine because you're charging them with felonies that information is pretty clear-cut.
It is, and keep in mind how difficult it is to actually catch people doing this when there's so many people in the moment doing it. For law enforcement to have to go into a store where there are people running out, where they don't know what's going on, and there are way more people than law enforcement officers, they put themselves at risk. They were able to catch the people coming out of the store, catch them red-handed in many circumstances. These are the people we're going after now.
I know you mentioned during first appearance court, when I got some of these looters, that you were thinking of upping the charges to second-degree felony because it was committed during a time of crisis or whatever, emergency. Is that still the case?
We're looking to see whether we can add the enhancement for having committed a crime during a state of emergency. But keep in mind that the state of emergency was the pandemic, not the protests. So we'd have to establish that the crime was facilitated because of the conditions of the state of emergency, so it often doesn't fit here. But we're still looking to do it where we can. Anytime someone is taking advantage of a state of emergency to commit a crime, we're going to seek to enhance the charges against them.
Is this how the system is supposed to work? A few days ago you announced that 67 people who were peacefully protesting would not be charged, and some people agreed with that, some didn't, but then now you kind of put your foot down with these 11 saying what they did was unacceptable. It seems like there's a balance here and perhaps an appropriate one.
This is absolutely how the system's supposed to work. From the beginning, we had said if you're peacefully protesting, you're not going to get prosecuted. But we have to distinguish the protesters from these people who are committing crimes, taking advantage of the situation to loot, riot, steal, destroy, attack law enforcement. Those are the people that we're going after. That was always the plan. It's just a matter of as these cases come in. As we talked about the other day, we had some 200 cases come in just in the first few days of the protests. Some were people peacefully protesting who were arrested, who were not prosecuting. A lot of those people are the people committing these crimes that we are going after.
I talked to some advocates and activists the other day who just want charges dropped for everyone, or should say, cases dismissed for anyone, regardless of what they were writing or etc. What's your message to those folks saying those things?
Look, we staunchly support people's First Amendment rights to raise their voice in defiance of racial injustice, just as staunchly as we support public safety. If you are creating a public safety threat in our community, you're going to be prosecuted for it.
Are these 11 people that have already been arrested and you're just filing formal charges on, or are there new people that have to be arrested?
These are people who have been arrested that we're filing the charges on.
Were they arrested by Tampa PD or Hillsborough, or are you able to?
I believe all 11 of these are Tampa Police Department cases.
One might be a Temple Terrace case.
Thank you.
So talk about the 130. You're still reviewing that, right?
Yes. We're still going through nearly 130 cases just from the first few days, from roughly the night of May 30th through that first week of June 6th. And we have another, huge batch of cases that came in from the second week too. And we have to determine Were people arrested for peacefully protesting, or were they arrested because they were stealing, looting, destroying, vandalizing? That's the distinction that we all have to make.
I know generally prosecutors look at evidence and they tend not to put their opinion in something, but you are an elected official. So what is your opinion when it comes to these type of actions by these people during a protest that really spiral out of control? Do you have a message down the road if this happens again?
Yeah, the message is clear. We're going to tolerate people peacefully protesting, as we always do. This community embraces people's First Amendment rights and will stand to support them. This community will not tolerate, and I will not tolerate, people exploiting that moment to commit crimes selfishly for personal gain or to cause destruction. We're not going to tolerate anyone threatening the safety of our community or our law enforcement officers.
How many years are these people looking at with the charges?
Depends on the cases. We have some third-degree burglary cases, some second-degree. It's a mix, and we have a lot of these people have criminal histories. As we've talked about from the beginning, there's a difference between the people who you see out peacefully protesting, chanting, versus the people who are actually committing crimes. And a lot of those people are repeat criminals.